The Galactic Federation Council was in session, but you wouldn't know it from the noise. Laughter echoed through the grand chamber, a cacophony of alien chuckles, clicks, and chortles. The subject of their amusement. Humanity's so-called legends. Projected on a giant holoscreen were images of Earth's greatest mythical figures. King Arthur pulling a sword from a stone, Hercules wrestling a lion, and a monkey king wielding a staff. "Look at this one!" bellowed a gruff Xylosian general, pointing a four-fingered hand at the screen. "They call him Hercules. His greatest feat was cleaning a stable." A stable? Our janitorial drones could do that before their first power cycle. More laughter. A sleek, insectoid ambassador from Cygnus X1 buzzed. "And this, King Arthur. His claim to fame is possessing a shiny sword. We issue plasma cutters, with more tactical value to our cadets for basic training." Even the usually stoic Vulperians were snickering. Earth, the newest and most unassuming member of the Federation, was the galaxy's favorite joke. Their technology was primitive, their physiology unimpressive, and their history, apparently, was a collection of children's fairy tales. They were seen as harmless, slightly pathetic newcomers who'd somehow stumbled onto the galactic stage. Sitting quietly amidst the mockery was General Kalon of the Krill. Kalon was a living legend. A war hero whose name was whispered with reverence across 1,000 star systems. He'd single-handedly held the breach at the Orion Nebula, faced down the dread fleet of the Void Swarm, and negotiated the peace treaty with the formidable siliconoids of Kepler 186f. His presence commanded respect. He was tall, even for a krill, with silver skin that seemed to absorb the light and eyes like twin black holes. He hadn't spoken a word, his face an unreadable mask. The ridicule continued. "Oh, this is the best one yet!" A gelatinous Blorg diplomat jiggled with glee. Sun Wukong, a monkey king, he fought with a stick. A stick! Did their planet not discover focused energy weapons? The chamber erupted again, but this time the laughter was cut short by a deep, resonant voice that silenced the entire room. That stick ambassador could weigh over 8 tons and change its size at its master's will. All eyes turned to General Kalon. He had risen to his full, intimidating height. The holoscreen behind him flickered, the image of Sun Wukong now seeming less comical, more formidable. Kalon's gaze swept across the silent council. "You laugh at Hercules' labor of cleaning the Augean stables. You forget the part where he rerouted to entire rivers to do a feat of hydroengineering that would baffle your best scientists. You mock Arthur's sword, Excalibur, but you failed to mention it was forged with magic that made its wielder unbeatable in battle. A concept your tactical computers cannot quantify." A heavy silence filled the chamber. The ambassadors shifted uncomfortably. Kalon was not known for speeches, and certainly not for defending the ridiculous fables of a backwater planet like Earth. "You find their legends quaint," Kalon continued, his voice low and dangerous. "You dismiss them as simple stories. You are wrong. They are not stories. They are warnings, their memories, distorted by time, of visitors to their world." He gestured to the image of Hercules. "That is not a man wrestling a mere lion. That is a depiction of an ancient encounter with a Zeltaran berserker, a species we all rightly fear. The Hydra. A bioweapon from the forgotten wars of the Serpentis cluster, each head capable of regenerating and spitting neurotoxin. Hercules defeated it." He then pointed to the image of Sun Wukong. "And this monkey king, Sun Wukong. You see a primate with a staff. I see a warrior of impossible power. Immortality achieved through consuming divine a colloquialism for ingesting advanced nanites that grant cellular regeneration, 72 transformations. A highly sophisticated shape-shifting biosuit, the ability to travel thousands of miles in a single leap. personal wormhole generation. We have been trying to stabilize that technology for centuries. He mastered it. The Zolocian general stammered, but ... general. These are myths. How could you possibly know this? A slow, chilling smile touched Kellen's lips for the first time. Because I was there. The gas that went through the council was a physical shockwave. Kellen's eyes seemed to darken, reflecting the star-dusted void of space. I was a young officer during the Great Expansion Wars. My fleet was part of a reconnaissance mission into an uncharted spiral arm. We encountered a vessel of unknown origin. It was ancient, powerful, and hostile. We were outmatched, our ships torn apart like paper. He paused, the memory clearly painful. Our capital ship was breached. The enemy poured in creatures of nightmare, things that could drain life with a touch. My entire command staff was wiped out in minutes. I was cornered, my energy blade depleted, my armor fractured. I prepared for death. Then, he said, his voice dropping to a whisper, he arrived. He came out of nowhere, leaping through a shimmering portal onto the bridge of my ship. He looked ... exactly like that. Kalen pointed a trembling finger at the holy screen image of Sun Wukong. He wasn't wearing a bodysuit. That was his skin. I too laughed as he moved, a whirlwind of motion. The invaders, who had decimated my veteran soldiers, were tossed aside like dolls. He carried a simple staff, just as the legend says. But when it swung, it tore through the fabric of reality itself. I saw one of our enemies, a creature of immense density, turned to dust by a single tap from that stick. The council was frozen, hanging on his every word. He cleared my ship in less than a minute. He didn't speak my language, but he looked at me. There was an intelligence in his eyes, ancient and wild. Then, he simply ... vanished, leaping back through his portal. He single-handedly saved my fleet from annihilation. We scoured our star charts. The origin point of his portal was a small, unassuming yellow sun in a sector designated Sol. The third planet ... Earth. Kalen looked directly at the Blorg ambassador. I have spent my life searching for any record of him, his people, his technology. I found nothing but these myths on that primitive little world. Myths that contain more truth about the powers that exist in this universe than all of our Federation databases combined. He turned to the whole assembly. You ridicule their legends of gods walking among them, of heroes with impossible strength, of beings who can command the elements. You laugh because you are ignorant. You have never seen what I have seen. You believe you are the pinnacle of galactic civilization. But Earth's legends tell us that beings far more powerful than us have walked that planet. Thieves. And more importantly, they tell us that humans fought them. Sometimes they won. Sometimes they learned from them. They survived. He deactivated the holoscreen, plunging the chamber into a somber half-light. We call them primitive. Yet, their world was a crucible, a proving ground for powers we can only dream of. Their legends are not fairy tales. They are a historical record. A record of their resilience. A record of their potential. General Kalen sat back down. His piece said, The silence in the Galactic Federation Council was no longer one of mere respect. It was one of awe and a newfound, profound sense of fear. No one was laughing at Earth anymore. They were too busy wondering what other legends might still be waiting, sleeping, on that small blue planet. And they wondered what would happen when humanity finally remembered its own past and realized the true powers sleeping in its genes. The galaxy suddenly felt a lot bigger and a lot more dangerous. Thanks for watching, too. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. See you next time.